and do this, and I also do some other bits and pieces.
Okay.
I've just started doing some work with the BEF.
Oh yeah?
Which should be quite cool, on equality and diversity in the equestrian world.
Is there anyone from the Blue Cross who's doing it?
No, it's more trying to represent different areas of the equestrian world. So, like the age range, different backgrounds, like have someone that's come from a legal side, someone that's come from a competitive side, some people that have come from riding schools, people that work for charities, some people that work with RDA. Within 7 people, we've managed to get pretty much everyone covered, which I think is quite
amazing.
Wow.
Very impressive.
Good. Sounds like an exciting new job.
That's also not paying any money.
But so you've got a lot of followers, haven't you? And
yeah, we're 11 off 1,000, I think.
Well, we've had some more today, so I mean, I'll have a look. But
we will obviously share, because if Blue Cross, our pages do the Instagram, we can like you, and then can't you share? I'm not social media.
Tess is the social media person.
That's why I look at Grace and go, do you share it like on Facebook on Instagram?
We're 6 people off 1,000.
Oh, well, we can get you. We'll get that, because if we get all the girls here to follow you.
Yesterday we were
I'm about like 10 off of 2,000 now. I'm getting very excited.
It's not a competition.
Last week we went out.
No, I know.
We interviewed the chief executive of the Pony Club about mounted games.
Ooh.
And then he's not very techie, so he was like, the bloggers, and we were like,
no.
And we saw him yesterday at Hoy's, and he's so keen and so enthusiastic, and he was like, are you going now? And we were like, yes. He's like, oh, do you want to go have a look at the stables? Do you want to go meet all the teams that are doing the Prince Philip Cup? And do you want to go meet the ponies? And we were like, yes.
It was when they were like, so do you want to talk to any of the people? And we were like, we haven't prepared anything. And I feel like they just finished their competition, and I feel like 2 people were being like, okay, so we're going to record you for 20 minutes, let's go. We'd just be like, what?
Especially with the age they are, like, it's not like you can just rock up with a microphone and be like, talk.
Go. Yeah.
Freeze.
Yeah. What sort of age are they when they do
up to 15.
Then that would be quite overwhelming.
Especially if it's their first day at Hoy's. So they would all have done their first competition. We watched them, and it's still very exciting. And
Although it was quite good fun, because we could walk down the stables just being like super happy and super excited about everything, and everyone was so like with it. You weren't just there like, come on team, all together. Like everyone was so buzzing.
Yeah.
Right, are we ready?
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you
Do you want me to? Okay. Hello everyone, welcome to the Pony Podcast. We are here at the Blue Cross today, and we're going to talk a little bit about rehoming and training of ponies that have come in to be rehomed and to find their new forever home. So welcome guys.
Thank you for having us.
That's all right.
So we're here with Abby.
Yeah.
And what's your role within the Blue Cross?
So I'm rehoming coordinator. So mainly I work south. So we've got our we're Burford Horse Unit, whereas our other Ralston Centre in Derby sort of focuses more on horses being rehomed north, because we rehome all over the country.
Who gets more horses?
So we take more in physically because we have the space to, but they still rehome. Their numbers are really good, just as we just have the capacity to take
Have
more,
extra
so ours
space.
are higher. Yeah.
Ah. So most of the ponies that come in for you, what sort of backgrounds have they come from?
So the majority that we intake every month are from other charities, sort of normally through large welfare lifts or charities that don't have the facilities or staff to actually rehabilitate and rehome them. So that's our sort of main influx of horses are from those. We do take horses from private homes, but we're trying to keep our spaces at the centre for those in higher welfare need. So Blue Cross run a scheme called Home Direct, which is where we help people that sort of in the private sector that are looking to rehome their horses. And what's great about that scheme is where they can be rehomed direct from the owner to a Blue Cross borrower. So we'll go out and assess them, they'll have a veterinary check, and then we will rehome them straight from that home, and it's at the point of rehoming that they're transferred into Blue Cross ownership.
So you minimise the number of places they have to move through.
Yeah.
That's so nice.
And like I said, keep the spaces here for those that need it
Really
most.
need it.
Yeah.
So with the horses that do come in and you work with, is the goal for them to be rehomed, or are there some that will have to stay here for a longer time?
So yeah, all the horses that are here, everything is available for rehoming, subject to behaviour and veterinary assessment. So we don't keep horses here forever. We're not a sanctuary. Everything's available for rehoming, and the length of stay for horses completely differs and depends on their training plans and veterinary needs.
You guys have great facilities here, like we've seen the school and stuff like that. Do you ever get ponies from sanctuaries that they say, actually, you know what, this could probably go somewhere to be trained and rehomed?
Yeah, definitely. So we work with lots of different charities and places that just they don't have the expertise, and they happily say that we'd rather, or they feel that horse would actually benefit, and thinking of its welfare would do well in a centre where there are people sort of highly skilled in certain areas of training. That just might need that bit more time and attention prior to being rehomed.
What sort of horses do most people want when they come to rehome one?
Well, everybody would love the safe 15 hand glass all rounder that they can take to their riding club at the weekends, and I'd love to say that we could offer that, but the horses that we have here, we mainly rehome companions, so non-ridden companions, and we tend to see more of the smaller cob types, but they're sort of 11, 12 hand yearlings is our sort of the horse type we have the most of, so we can't always sort of fulfill everybody's needs, but still appreciate everyone that comes to us first to look to rehome.
We've seen loads of success stories like in the press about ponies who they've been rehomed from places like here, and then people have taken them showing and they've won like champion in hand pony and stuff. Have you had a lot more people coming in thinking, I'll get my next show pony from a rehoming centre? Yeah,
definitely, because we're very much people that rehome from Blue Cross are very much, I would describe them as a community, and we have our own private Facebook group and page, so people share their stories, and often people always sort of use that tag Blue Cross Jasper or Blue Cross, so actually we get a lot of promotion and sort of people through that, because they're sort of proud of the fact that where that horse has come from and the work that they've sort of put in, and so it's great. And we've had, we've been lucky enough that we've had a lot of success stories, so in showing, pony club, eventing, so it's great, and great publicity for us, and to sort of promote the fact that these horses are, they are here to be found in charities and rehoming centres like Blue Cross. So
so once the horses come in, when obviously you want to rehome them and move them on, what sort of things do you want them to have learnt, or skills that they have to have established before they start to be considered to be rehomed?
So there's no sort of set sort of process we follow. So we every horse would be seen by a vet, have a behaviour assessment, but we don't necessarily have a tick box that every horse has had to have completed prior to rehoming. In our eyes, everything is available for rehoming, and it's through screening the applications that we find the people that match the right horses. So you might get a home or a potential borrower that's got the facilities and the skills and experience that could take a horse that's really nervous, that might be only part way through our training, but they're skilled enough to take it on and continue that at home. And that would all be sort of spoken and demonstrated through our appointment process when they come here. So we're very much sort of open to anyone, applying for a horse, because it might not be that we've got a horse advertised, or all of them are not advertised, but we would match you, given sort of speaking to you and your application. We can look through that and then say, actually, we've got a horse that we'd really like you to meet. because of X,
Oh,
Y, Z.
that's
So
so
yeah,
cute.
That's
Yeah.
nice because then it's really kind of tailored to the
Yeah.
applicant.
yeah, exactly. 'Cause-
If you've got a pony who isn't chosen by anyone for like whatever reason, do you carry on their education to like being ridden and starting to do jumping and hacking and that sort of
Yeah.
thing?
So if it's if we were looking to advertise, or we've got a pony advertised as a project and it hasn't, we haven't been successful in rehoming it to date. If we have the grooms available, Grace, training supervisor, will allocate a groom to then potentially start that horse's backing process. But it's just time and amount of people and how we can manage it. But we do, even sort of the companions are still allocated to grooms and will get handled X amount of times a week. They're not just sort of, even if they're sort of perfectly behaved, they're not just left in the field. They still are handled and exposed to new things as well. So it's ongoing all the time.
If someone wants to rehome a horse, like what application process do they go through, and how do you go about choosing what homes are suitable?
So we direct everyone to our website, and they would complete a home finder. So on the sort of rehome a horse page, we've got all of the horses advertised there. So you can either select a specific horse and apply for that particular one, or fill in the generic home finder form. All the home finders that come in, we sort of work on location. So between the two centres, if you're within the south, they'll come through to myself and Lauren, and same with our other centre. And we basically read through those applications.
How many roughly do you get a month?
A month. It's difficult to say. I mean, sort of you could get up to 20 in a day. Some days, sort of Sundays are generally our quieter days. You might get 5 or 6. But sometimes, summer, it fluctuates. You get a lot more. Just completely depends. But we read through those, so everybody gets a personal reply. We'll read through. Like I said, we can't always. We don't have horses to offer everybody, especially on the riding side, because we do have more sort of youngsters, companion types as opposed to ridden. But we keep everyone's details for a period of 6 months. So if we haven't got anything now, potentially we'll go back and contact people if something does come in. Does come in, yeah.
Have they had a look at your website before we came here? And the little profiles of the horses and all the animals that are for rehoming are lovely. And they've all got little photo frames, and it's got like likes and dislikes and their little stories, and it really does make you want to give them a home.
We try and sort of, without being too
fluffy.
We try and be as we'll always be honest as we can on those without trying to put people off. I mean, we pride ourselves on honesty, so we're gonna, if a horse has got a fear or a particular behavioural trait, we will always tell you all about that. They've all got something to give to someone, and they'll all suit somebody.
And when people fill out the home finder form, obviously it's got boxes you have to fill in, and if they want to contact you directly, they can. But is there any information that makes your life a lot easier that they should include when you're trying to find a horse for them?
So there's a section where it's it asks just to explain your experience, and I think that box and the facilities box to fill in is probably most important, because when you're describing things like grazing, and that can be the difference between that's where we're thinking about horses' weights, sizes, who their grazing companions are going to be. Experience, just to give an overview, because you might be someone that's been in the equine industry for years, got tons of experience, and you might have only applied because you want a companion for your own horse, but actually knowing that, it might be then that we can match you with something that does have like higher needs, or someone that has got that experience, as opposed to something that's sort of quieter and easy to do, because again, it's like we were saying before, sort of tailoring it to suit people and the horses individually, because it might be that they're nervous a nervous horse to a novice handler isn't a great match, but for someone experienced, they wouldn't think twice about handling that horse, and could be a perfect home.
If you have someone who like has like just different standards of experience than you might have, and so thinks they're more experienced than you might consider them, how do you go about kind of working out where they actually are compared to where they say they are?
Well, that would be all come apparent in our appointment process. So anyone that we feel is suitable for a horse, they would be invited to the centre to meet the horse. And within that appointment, we do a handling. I don't like using the word as sort of assessment, but we do have, for safety of and welfare of the horse and the potential borrower, we have a sheet that we work through, you know, grooming, picking out feet, leading. If you're gonna if you're invited to a riding appointment, you'll ride a schoolmaster first. So, and through discussion, I think you would, you know, we find out what and what's going to work. You know, people, I think a lot of the time it's not through people wanting to deceive, it's what their backgrounds and what they perceive to have done. And again, most of the time, you know, we can match people with an appropriate horse, so it's not
it's definitely better to come and meet them and see the horse than to just send them off blind. And
well, because you have to remember as well that often the horses that have come from sort of compromised backgrounds and might seem quite calm here. I mean, you've seen the atmosphere is very calm and it's all quiet, and you have to remember that any that have been through training, when they move house and meet new horses and things, they will often take sort of a bit of a step back, and you might see behaviours that they wouldn't have seen here at the appointment, which is again why we go through those processes to try and eliminate any surprise or, you know.
Would you worry about like if like a kind of professional competing rider who, like, because Alex and I both come from that sort of background, would you worry about someone coming from that kind of background wanting a companion for one of their top horses, but would you worry about the ponies going into that kind of busy atmosphere, having it so calm and quiet here?
Not all the time, because again, we try and expose them to as much as we can, and actually when there are days where it is busy, we do tours, there are lots of people moving around and taking into consideration their backgrounds that they've come from. I mean, I think that you sort of get to know, and the girls are obviously that work on the yard really skilled, so you can sort of tell just from the work we do here and what we expose them to,
how they'd cope,
they'd cope and what they would handle. And if you imagine sort of when you're on our yard and you've got that full and it's a vet and farrier day, you've got that sort of a bit more buzzy yard atmosphere. So, and some of the horses won't tolerate it at all, and some of them are just quite happy as long as they've got a hay net, you know. So yeah.
So once you've rehomed the horses, you mentioned you have a Facebook group for your rehoming family. What sort of support do you give the people that have rehomed a horse?
So another step after the appointment process is that they have a home visit. So we've got a team of welfare coordinators that cover all areas of the country. So they would have had a home visit and met the welfare coordinator. So once the horses actually go to their homes, they have a mobile number of that welfare coordinator, so they can always call them for support and advice. And the same here at the centre, so we're always sort of on hand to do that. After they've been rehomed, we'll always follow up to just find out how they've settled within a week or two. And also they will get another visit within the first 6 months. And we have done it sooner. If it might be that they call or they're concerned about something, we would go out, offer advice where we can. Something new that's to Blue Cross, that we now actually transfer ownership of some of our horses after a period of time where if we're happy that all of our guidelines in our agreements are being stuck to, and we're sure that the horse is going to stay there, then we do that. But still, as part of that, we would always be on hand to answer any questions, and even if we transfer ownership, we do, if there's any change in circumstance, we'd always take those horses back. So there's always that communication there if people want it. So
That's
yes,
really
they
nice.
are really supportive, so which is another sort of a great thing about rehoming, because You're not just sort of going and buying a horse and left in the dark.
Yeah.
We're going to be completely honest, and we're here afterwards, so you still can talk to us. And
it's really nice to have that network, because I know a lot of people that have bought horses. Maybe they are at home with just their family, have some fields, and they've got a new horse in, and maybe it's not got behaviour that they're used to dealing with, or they don't have regular lessons. They haven't got someone experienced that they can go to. And if they rehome one of your horses, it's nice to have someone at the end of the phone that you can talk to and sort of say, is this normal? What should I do? Or should I be worried?
Yeah, no, it is great. And the Facebook group's been particularly popular, hasn't it? Because people just asking advice, not just about random things, not always about that horse in particular, because they would have called their welfare coordinator, but other things and things they've experienced, and it's really nice.
Obviously you hope that the home that the pony goes to is going to be a forever home, but if that person, like the child grows, they have a pony for the child to ride and the child grows out of it, do you keep ownership if the pony does move home? Do you still have to vet the home it's going to, that sort of thing?
So we have borrowers that don't always accept or want to transfer of ownership, because it might be, like you say, you've got a child that's going to grow out of the pony, and so therefore we've got another scheme that we run called Home to Home. So if a borrower, it might be for whatever reason, has a change in circumstances, might need to return the horse, we put them up, we advertise them on the website to be rehomed, and we look to rehome them directly from their current borrower to another one, again to just minimise the movement of the horse and keep space in the centre free. So and we have had it where we've had people where horses have been in homes and they've got someone at their yard, or they know someone that really wants the horse, or's potentially been riding it with them, in which case we just sort of introduce ourselves to them, get involved, and they still go through the Blue Cross process, and if they're moving yards, we'd do another visit. We're sort of there at each step of the way. So
that's so lovely. I think that's all our questions. Well, thanks so much for talking to us about it.
That's all right.
Okay, well, we hope you enjoyed that episode talking to the Blue Cross about rehoming. We hope you join us next week for when we talk to them again about retraining and how they get their ponies from when they first come into the centre right to when they're ready to go to their forever homes. If you want to find out any more about the work the Blue Cross does, head to www.bluecross.org.uk, and you can also find all the information about their rehoming process and how you apply if you guys want to rehome a pony and your parents want to rehome a pony. Thanks as ever for listening to us. Like us on Instagram and Facebook at the Pony Podcast on both of those, and rate and subscribe to our podcast channels on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. You can rate every episode, which helps other people find us and find the best episodes to listen to. Ideally, if you could rate it 5 stars, that would be great. Thanks, guys. All right, well, you know how to find us. Make sure you're listening next week. All right, bye.